In any clinical practice, there is a recurring, deeply frustrating pattern. Patients sit in the examination room, they know the exact protocols required to improve their health, and then they go home and actively choose to do the exact opposite. The root of this behavior is an evolutionary bug. The human brain is fiercely hardwired to hunt for immediate comfort and quick dopamine releases, even when those choices sacrifice long-term stability. You see this play out in mundane daily choices. It is the decision to sit on the couch and scroll through a phone for hours instead of going for a walk, or grabbing fast food on the way home instead of taking the time to cook a healthy meal. This brings us to a psychological barrier known as the threshold of change. We rarely alter our habits until the physical or mental agony of remaining exactly the same finally outweighs the discomfort required to transform. Which raises a critical question. Why does our psychology demand a catastrophic medical crisis to finally cross that threshold, rather than initiating the change voluntarily when the stakes are lower? The answer lies in understanding the law of temporal payment. In biology, a toll for your lifestyle is always collected. We only get to choose the date of collection. The most common path is easy now, hard later. This creates a system of compounding physiological debt, where tiny, comfortable decisions slowly bankrupt your future health. Look at the daily consumption of heavily processed food. It is a frictionless choice in the moment, but underneath the surface, it sets off a gradual, silent process of vascular damage. Fast forward that clinical timeline a decade or two, and that hidden debt suddenly comes due in full, often manifesting as a massive, unexpected heart attack. This animated chart tracks the trajectories of joint cartilage volume over a 20-year span. Compared to an active lifestyle, the immediate comfort of sitting actively accelerates the long-term degradation of the entire skeletal system. When that sedentary trajectory dips below the required mobility threshold, the result is an irreversible loss of basic physical independence. The easy now path masquerades as comfort, but it functions as a high-interest biological loan taken out directly against your body's future autonomy. The alternative reality is choosing hard now, easy later. This path requires the deliberate, voluntary accumulation of biological equity. It requires acute, localized physical pain in the present moment to build resilience. During a workout, you are intentionally forcing muscle fibers to stretch, tense, and microscopically tear under intense strain. This biological feedback loop, where immediate stress triggers future adaptation, serves as a template for almost every form of stability. The impulse control to save capital, or navigating a difficult conversation, follows the exact same logic. You endure a small, localized tear today to build a more resilient structure for tomorrow. There is a massive difference between the acute, tightly controlled discomfort of present discipline and the chronic, uncontrollable pain of systemic future decline. Taking immediate, difficult action toward betterment creates a compound effect. It increases the likelihood that your future self will experience a highly capable, nearly frictionless existence. Voluntarily stepping into present discomfort is a primary mechanism for reducing the frequency and severity of future crises. While it offers no absolute guarantees, it shifts the odds in your favor, trading manageable stress now for capability later. Zooming out from the clinical data, a harsh truth emerges. Hardship is an inevitable feature of human life. It cannot be outrun or avoided.
This brings us to the concept of hardship scheduling. We do not possess the power to eliminate pain from our lives. We only possess the power to control its timing. When you delay the temporary, manageable pain of change, it ferments. It eventually becomes a much heavier, crushing block, the permanent pain of regret. If you wait for the pain of staying the same to finally arrive on its own schedule, the destinations are tragically predictable. It looks like being confined to a hospital bed, navigating a shattered marriage, or an entirely empty bank account. You have to actively and willingly choose the daily discomfort of discipline. By scheduling that friction into your routine, you reclaim absolute control over your destiny. Every person must endure hard things. The only choice left is whether to endure the hardship that builds you today or the hardship that breaks you tomorrow.